Okay, we are back here. So again, we're making this Google Doodle, this spinning record. We click in the record, it stops the loop, and then it speeds up when we let go of the record. So we have that going here. Okay, still spinning. So in the last video, we just kind of bumped into a quick problem as to get the line to stop in the same place and then start in the same place, right? So what we needed to do in going back and just taking a moment to think about it is we're going to make a variable actually called r, okay, which I'm just going to call rotate. And instead of adding 3.33 to a, we're actually going to just add r to a. And that will cause... So that is the spinning there, but then when we press the mouse, we're going to make r equal to 0, and then when we let go, we're going to make it equal to 3.333 again. Okay, so that should fix the problem. So then a will stay at whatever it's at, and then if we're clicking, it won't be adding anything to a, and then when we let go, it'll start adding that 3.33 again. Okay, so it stops, and let go, but now we have a serious... Oh, here's what I did. I shouldn't do plus equals, I should set art equals, so it would constantly be adding to r. So here we go. So I click it, it stays, I let go, and then it moves. All right, so we have fixed that part. All right, so now I'm gonna kind of go off from this Google Doodle now and do one more thing I wanted to add to this, okay? So this is inspired by this app I had on my iPad, which is called the DJay app, right? And it's a very similar sort of tool where it has this spinning record, you click the record, you can stop it, and you let go. But the other thing it has here, if you kind of can zoom in on, this is not a promo, please you don't have to go out and buy this by any means, but it does show you the waveform of the music that you are listening to. And this is a very common thing you see now on things like Serato and these sort of digital spaces where DJs are using their tools to spin and do things for parties and stuff like that. So what we're going to do now is add a waveform that is specific to whatever sound we are playing, okay? Now, to do this, what I have envisioned here, and I'm just going to get rid of the sound for a second, is I'm going to have the record spinning, I'm going to move the record a little lower, and then we're going to have this waveform at the top of the thing here. So the first thing I want to do is just move this slightly out of the way. So I'm just going to translate to 300 here, and you see it just moves my circle out of the way, okay? Then I click it. Here's the thing though, I need to also update this 300 for my mouse press here. So now I do it, I'm inside, I let go, okay, I click out. I'm fine. All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go back to my reference here. If you remember, we were looking at rate for the sound file. Okay, so there's all these different things built into our sound file here. I'm going to go to this one called getPeaks. And if you look at getPeaks, it says returns an array of amplitude peaks that can be used to draw a static waveform, which is exactly what I want to do, okay? And it also tells me there's an argument called length, which is the length of the size of the returned array. So that's just how many different wave peaks that we have, okay? So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna make a variable called wave, okay? And now what I can do is I can do Apache wave equals, and this is where I'm going to store this array, Apache dot get peaks, and I'm going to go 200 of this because I just want it to go 200 pixels across. That's how big I want it to be. So now if I do console.log wave, okay, and I'm going to get rid of this console.log just so it doesn't take up any space. So if I run it, so you see this pops up. I get this, it says float array. I look down, there are 200 items in this array, okay? And all of these are just what the volume of the sound file is at any given point from the beginning to the end. And I've chopped up the size of the sound file into 200 different parts. So all of these are just amplitude. They're all going to be between 0 and 1. You remember quite a few lessons back, we looked at how to get the levels of the amplitude and sort of build off that. So that is what we're going to do. So this array is very important and useful to me. All right, so now I'm going to jump back into my my draw here, okay, and now I need a for loop. So let I equal 0. So hopefully you've seen these for loops in other projects. I is less than. Now here's the thing. I have said there are 200 values in this array, but I'm going to show you another little trick. So wave is now holds an array. Okay, so I made a variable called wave, and in wave there's an array that has 200 values in it. What I can do is just do wave.length. Okay, and wave.length will just return the number that is the number of the number of values in an array. Okay, so whatever your array is called, if you just do dot length, that will give you the exact length of it. So wave.length is equal to 200 because I have 200 values in my array. And then I'm going to do I++. Okay, so for this one here, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make lines. Okay, so bear with me here. Okay, so each line is going to start. I'm actually going to make, so I want it kind of centered here. I'm going to start the first line at 100 and then plus I. So if you remember with a for loop, the I is the counter. It goes from I and then it just keeps going up and up and up all until it gets to whatever this is, which we know is 200. So the first line will be, the X position will be 100 plus 0, then 100 plus 1, then 100 plus 2, so it'll move it right across here, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wavelength, okay, whatever the value of each point of the amplitude in that array is, and I'm going to do wave I. Actually, you're going to do times 100. Okay, but I want it to start sort of in the middle or like 100 down from the top. So I'm going to do 100 plus. So that 100 will just sort of offset the wavelength there. And then I'm going to do same spot here, 100 plus I. And then I'm going to do this, and I actually should probably put this in parentheses just to make sure it works okay. And then I'm gonna do 100 minus. So what this is gonna do is sort of use 100 on the y-axis as the point, and then you're gonna see the wave kind of jet up and down from each spot, right? So here we go. So there we have it, okay? So that is what the Apache sound file looks like, okay? So again, this is sort of the middle point. I'll show you as well, maybe if I were to just make this at 100, kind of see if I do it at 100, we kind of lose half of the wave there. So just so we can see, so that's why I kind of double up. And this is what any sound wave generally looks like if you're using any kind of digital audio software or stuff like that. This is what sound waves look like. Okay, so what I'm going to do very quickly as well is I'm just going to give it a little background. So I'm going to make a rectangle here at 100 and 0, and I want it to be 200 in length and I think 200 in width. I'm going to give it a fill of yellow, 0. Okay, I'm going to give it no stroke, which now I'm going to have to go through and make some other adjustments here. I'm going to make these lines. Since they're lines, I need to make them, to color them, I need stroke as opposed to fill. And then I'm going to need to jump back here to this ellipse and do fill 255, and then the stroke will be 0. So this I've kind of made more work for myself by now adding color and stuff, but it's fine. Whoop. So what happened here? Rectangle is at 100, is at 0. Is there a translate issue here that I'm running into? Let's see, let me just double check here. 100, 0, 200. Should be okay. It is 200 by 200. If I make this 100, sorry folks. And then I started at 100. All right. Well, I'm going to come back and show the last part of what I want to do here and fix that up as well.